I'm allowing the participants now to join.
श्योर ऋषभ, एंड यू हैव टू रिमेम्बर वो यूट्यूब लाइव करने के लिए.
Sure, sure.
I will just in mute for some minutes till some participants join.
या वील वेट फॉर देम.
Oh.
Varsala, just let me know when to go live on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. We'll start in like 5 minutes once we have people here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I would request you all to please stay here with us patiently for another 2-3 minutes for the others to join in. So we'll start at about 4-5. Rishabh, we can start now.
Sure, give me a minute. I will live it on YouTube.
Sure. Understood. Mm. Mm. So, a very good evening to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Vatsala Khare, your host for today. I am the lead of mentorship program at the Startup Incubation and Innovation Center, IIT Kanpur. Thank you for joining us for this exciting and insightful webinar. We are streaming live on the official YouTube channel of SISC IIT Kanpur. The topic for today's session is From Bootstrap Beginnings to Deep Tech Scale, Building a Profitable Startup Without Funding, Free Pilots or Discounts, and establishing a premium product price. This is a highly relevant topic for our Indian startups, especially those who are working in the deep tech and B2B sectors. In a landscape where early stage funding is limited and founders are often pressured into offering free pilots or heavy discounts just to gain traction, learning to build and scale sustainably while commanding premium value is a critical skill. Today's discussion will highlight how it's possible to grow a high impact tech business, remain profitable, and still retain control without giving into unsustainable practices. Our speaker for the today is one of our very own startup founders, Mr. Manish Chaudhary. He is an incubated company at Startup Incubation and Innovation Center of IIT Kanpur. Manish is an engineer and an MBA graduate who founded his startup in 2018 with a three-member team. Today, the company has grown into a deep tech powerhouse with a team of over 120 people, clocking annual revenues of over 20 crore Indian rupees. Impressively, the company has been profitable for the last 3 years and has done it all while remaining completely bootstrapped. Their products at the cutting edge of robotics and computer vision served some of India's largest business houses, including the Tata Group, Aditya Birla Group, and Mahindra Group. With a presence in over 50 plants across India and offices in Mumbai, Pune, Sambalpur, the company began its global expansion in 2024 with a new office in Abu Dhabi. It is all set to start international commercial operations in 2025. We encourage all attendees to actively participate and make the session interactive. You may please put your questions in the chat box or raise your hand if you'd like to have a direct monologue with Mr. Manish. We'll unmute you and you can talk to him. So, thank you, Manish, for joining us today. We welcome you here, and the stage is yours now.
Thank you, Vatsala, and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Vatsala, for inviting me to the forum. First of all, it's very nice to be again get connected to SISE. We have been SISE has been instrumental in our growth journey since 2018, and the entire infrastructure at SISE and IIT Kanpur that has helped us being bootstrapped. One of the key topic that we will discuss how incubator like SIIC and other incubators across ITs are helping companies like us to grow without funds in terms of without diluting equity. Of course, there are funds which were supported to us through SIIC IT Kanpur also. So thank you again for having me here. So what I will do is I will just start with a small introduction of our company, and then we go around on some of the topics that I have in mind we can discuss, and accordingly we can discuss on those topics, and we can take inputs from all the founders who have joined and what they would like me to share based on our experience and our growth journey. So just to give you a brief, Vatsala has already given you a brief that we started in 2018. So we started a three-member team, and now we are around 120 plus member team, and are working with 20 plus enterprise customers. And Vatsala mentioned about some of our most premium customers or the large corporate houses we are working with, and we are working with all these large corporate houses, and we are working with their central digital team. So one of the key things that has happened over years, the last 6 7 years, is that now we have reached a stage where we are working with the CXO and CEOs, and they are directly involved with what work we are doing in their company. They are directly driving what business has to do with our products and solution. So that's one of the key thing that we need to discuss, that when in a deep tech ecosystem, how do we navigate the paths to reach the real decision makers? Because it's not about funds issues with these very large corporates. When we talk about top 10 or top 20 corporates in India, or even top 50 corporates, all these are extremely large corporates, cash rich corporates. There is no dearth of funds for them to work with startups or develop new technology. It's only that how we are able to navigate and reach to the correct people and build confidence on their senior management and the top management, so that they are ready to, and they see ROI and they are ready to invest in us. So that's we will discuss in detail. But coming back to insights, we are a deep tech robotics company enabled through computer vision and other related AI fields. Uh, we have around now deployed 300 plus products and solution across India in 50 plants. Our One of the key highlights of our growth journey has been our stickiness to customers, which is very important for us, because in a deep tech enterprise sales, the sales cycles are very long, and you cannot afford to lose customer after converting them after months of hard work, months of building confidence, months of building relationship. So one of the key thing that we have been able to do successfully is that stickiness with the customer. So except as of now, our 25 to 30 customer, except one customer, we are working with all those customers on a scale, and it has been some time that we are working with all these customers, and all of these customers give us repeat product orders, repeat revenues, get involved us with us in co-development, which I will discuss further, that as a deep tech B2B company or enterprise sales company, why co-development, reaching a co-development stage is extremely important. Uh, we have now, as a organization, been able to put system in our 120 member team, where we have structures for production, operations, AI team, customer management tool. So we, as a new organization, or as an organization which is only 6 7 year old, we take customer feedback very seriously. And when we are working with when you are working with very large companies in enterprise sales, I think one of the key factor is, are you able to capture the feedbacks of the customers? So though we are a new company, but we have implemented CRM, a customer relationship management tool. We have dedicated man power for interacting with customers, taking their feedback, monitoring how is our being product used 24/7. So these are some of the things that, as we go on, we'll discuss how these impacts our growth, and how these have helped us and enabled us in building confidence in our customers. So just I had few thoughts to start the discussion, and one of the key thing for all enterprise deep tech company working out of India, particularly the domain that I have some experience last 6 7 years, is the Indian ecosystem is a very huge ecosystem, and a huge potential for deep tech startups. Extremely huge potential. And what we can see is just the tip of the iceberg. What we are also amazed in day-to-day interaction, when we interact with customers, we build a product, and then it scales to 5 plants. Then next year it scales to 10 plants. Then next year it scaled to 35 plants. We never imagined that a need that came from a customer and we developed for them initially in our initial years 2019-20 would scale to such heights, and there would be demand and there would be inbound. There would be a lot of inbound sales that we would get for that kind of product. So what, and this is not an example for only one product, but in general, we interact with a lot of companies during our sales and marketing outreach and other business development activities and conferences, we have realized that the size of Indian deep tech need for Indian deep tech product, indigenous need for make in India, design in India and make in India, not only make in India, but it has to be designed in India and make in India, is extremely huge. And there is a huge scope for all the startups to coexist without being very aggressive on prices, discounts, because uh, we are as an Indian startups, we are anyway having price advantage compared to our global counterparts who are supplying these deep tech, or you can say cutting edge technologies to our large manufacturing organization. So but we have to be very cautious in the sense ki, uh, the Indian corporates are going through a phase where they acknowledge that they need indigenous technology, and there is a need for them to have indigenous product and solution to support them in long run instead of importing it from Europe, US, China, or other South Asian countries. But they are going through a stage where they acknowledge this, but the processes and system that they have doesn't support this as of now. The way the purchase decision is being made, the way number of peoples are involved in taking decisions on innovation, new product development in a large corporate, it's extremely bureaucratic. We always talk about government being slow in taking decisions in adoptions, but there is no difference with large corporates also in India, as per our experience. Those are, you have to go through the same. The only difference would be that the government would purchase on a tender basis and private companies would not purchase on a tender basis. But the process of reaching that stage to convince all the shareholders, all the departments, uh, purchase guys, digital guys, it's no different than a government organization. Large corporates works extremely in the same function like a government organization, and it's extremely difficult as of now to for deep tech companies in India to sell to them. But one of the advantage of working with I told you one of the disadvantage, but one of the key advantage of Indian corporates while working with them is once they are convinced that you are the right partner or you are able to build a credential with one deployment or one product, I think Indian corporates have a lot of stickiness and they have a lot of patience to work with a tech partner. They don't uh, work in a way where every 3 months they would try to find a alternate uh, vendor. If you are delivering a high quality product and at a reasonable price, they would not pressurize you for those kind of things. But they are very helpful over a period of time. They will become very helpful in co-development, scaling. Of course, it will come with many other challenges, but that's what the fun with working with large Indian corporates that we have seen is that it's difficult to crack, but it becomes very smooth once you are able to generate confidence and deploy quality products for them. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I had in mind is that I will share my screen, Vatsala. Let me know if it is visible.
Yep.
Is it visible?
Not yet. It's visible now.
Okay. So I just wanted to have some
Manish, please put this on a presentation mode.
is it not? Is it not?
Not
Is
yet.
it not? It is
Now
now?
it is. It is now.
Yeah. So as a business, we also have to understand from a deep tech and enterprise sales point of view that what level of business we want to operate. And we may not be able to become OEM or get into a co-development with very large corporates uh, in starting years. But everyone, I think most of the deep tech startup, or we also started as a service provider. But I think this is the path that we have to keep in mind that if we need to build a sustainable business for long run and demand premium pricing, because deep tech needs good margin in longer run to put invest back in R&D, and then again develop products which are futuristic in nature, and also the industry and can scale for industry. So every one of us in some capacity, all deep tech companies, or initially we start with as a service provider. We do have some product, but we start as a service provider because we want to have initial traction. Then we have to see that we mature to a good to have product, or our product we build features which become good to have for them, and then the real journey of a deep tech startup, I think, starts for us. And for us, it started in 2021. So initial 3 years, though we had a product, but every time there was a customization request, every time there was a request to accommodate last minute changes while we were going live. But once you build, as I told, once we build some confidence, then you have to decide that where we have to say no, and what we have to build, and uh, in, how you can develop a product where the customer, it gets involved into a critical process of a company's business.
Hello. I think Manish is on freeze. Vatsala.
Yes, I'm just checking with him.
Yeah.
So I think my call
Yes.
dropped because of
Yeah, no
connectivity.
problem. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
back.
yeah. I will just again share my screen. Let me know if my screen is visible.
It's visible now.
Yeah. So as we grow in the as we grow in the business, we have to decide that we need to be on the top two layers of the business. That is, one is the we have to become OEM for large customers. We and become a critical part of their production or business processes, and the extreme maturity which will give you a lot of scale, which we are seeing now last 2 years, where now we have around commitment of more than 50 cr business for single year, and if combining 3 years, we have got commitments of more than 100 cr business from large corporates, uh, where we get into joint development, long term, we sustainable business, where we are building products which customer want us to develop for them, and it is the need of the industry, not only one industry but maybe multiple industry, and it is a very high capex intensive, extremely capex intensive development, and they come with capital also for these kind of development. So as a deep tech company, we have found that once we have uh, gone through service provider to good to have product and then become an OEM, now at us during in our seventh and the 8th year, we are getting this kind of we are reaching a level where all our customers want to develop a very complicated robotics or AI solution or product which will go for the entire industry or maybe allied industry. And there the volume is huge, the scale is there, the pricing point, flexibility is there. So all these things comes into the picture when you invest in a long term development for a product and solution. But how do we reach there? So one of the just give me one. So one of the key thing that helped us reach there is what I was discussing earlier also was, we have to be very sure of what KPIs we are monitoring, and because these are the KPIs which will build confidence into customer, and they will make us either a they will help us to develop as a OEM, or they will help us and bring us on board for a joint development program. Government can also bring deep tech companies for a joint development program, and we know government is a large customers. And lately, a lot of defense expenditure planned is planned in India, and there is a lot of need for joint development. So we as a deep tech company have to be ready and build credentials so that when the government or large corporates are scouting for reliable partners for joint development, we are there. So some of the key parameters that we have been monitoring 24/7 for all our customers is accuracy in our product, uptime, which I think most of the businesses monitor, but one of the key thing is usage. So it's not that our product is very accurate in and has a high uptime also, but are are it is it being used by the operators? Is it being used by the role holders on the shop floor? How do we train them? What percentage of manual activity has shifted to automated activity that through the product that we have built them. So to track this metrics and report them monthly, though they don't ask for these monthly reportings of usage, they ask for accuracy and uptime, but to report them that how much the dependency of them has moved to our product or a product that has been deployed does make a lot of difference. Then the impact. So um, um, rarely you will find that customers who would be using your product after a sign off would come back to you and say what is the impact of your product. So it's our job to monitor the impact of our product, what benefit it is giving them over months, quarter, years, and repeatedly send those documents to them and get a joint signed or a joint mail sign off on those impact. Because when your product is impactful and you are able to show it to them transparently over a sustainable period of time, then there is the pricing mode that comes into the picture, that the negotiation with respect to prices will come down because the ROI is there and the results are being delivered. And I already spoke about customer retention, so it's extremely critical that for in enterprise sales and deep tech companies that we don't lose customers. And of course, we have to be very mindful of which customer we target. But customer retention is absolute necessary in our kind of business. And one of the key things for having a cash flow which supports the business and is also helping you grow through your own profit that you are generating is there is revenue and there is cash flow. So the account receivables is an extremely critical thing. And we also monitor how do we what is the difference between our revenue and the cash flow. So though we can customer can ask us to supply product and ask us to make an invoice, but at what time have we realized that cash? So minimizing cash flow and revenue difference is extremely critical if we want to be bootstrapped and grow without diluting our equity, because then you have cash which can support your growth and R&D and product development. So these are some of the things that Vatsala I thought I will share with the uh, audience, and now maybe we can interact more. And if some of them have questions on GTM or customer, how do we go about customer selection, pricing points, I'll be happy to answer them.
Sure. So Rishabh, please unmute 3R Zero Waste, Shiv.
Sure.
And I'll request the others to please rename yourselves. Like the next person has raised their hand, but it writes slot 22, so I am unable to understand who. Yes, Shiv, please go ahead.
Yes. So my question is in terms of product. We are looking to develop a product for automotive industry in terms of sustainability. How we can use recycled content or reuse certain material components of the existing waste we receive. So my brief background is I work in waste management for 5 years. we have quite a good traction, and we have seen a couple of challenges coming for the automotive industry. So actually, I was waiting for this sort of opportunity to build a band, and there will be a time then where I can jump into product development. And since I'm based out of Manesar, all these vendors who are my clients, they are from automotive industry. So I know the understanding, in-depth understanding, what sort of waste they are giving to me. So, do you consider this type of product if I build? Am I a deep tech? Because I'm into sustainability, I don't understand much about the deep tech. What does it mean?
Okay. So your question would be, are you asking whether your product is a deep tech, or what kind, what are you planning? What is your
Yes,
question
yes.
exactly?
Yeah, so is my product, if I make a product, let's say a door handle made up of, I'm just doing a research to find which product I will build. But if I say I'm building a door handle for Volvo truck example, so if I'm doing that, am I considered as a deep tech startup?
No, so by definition, if you see, if you are doing a basic science engineering, if it is it involves research in basic science. If you are making a door, but it involves research on some basic science subject uh, related to material, or maybe related to engineering, how it would be configured on the truck. So it's all about, is it only designing and assembly, or is it about doing some research on the basic science part of it and then developing it? So that's how, in general definition of deep tech goes, that is there some effort going on the side of research in terms of on core field of science and engineering. If it requires to you to do that over a period of time, and we have to be very clear, if we are able to make something in 1 month, 2 month, or 6 month, it or even 1 year, we can't classify it as deep tech. Though we can call it as a deep tech, and there are a lot of jargons we can also use in long run, and there are many companies which use. But we have to understand as technical people that any new engineering or basic science research requires lot of data, validation, and development time. So both are critical parameters. How much time it has taken you to develop, and are you working on a core field of engineering and science? So you have to
So,
evaluate it yourself, because I don't know completely about your product, but I think these two parameters, what I feel, can help you evaluate it.
so just a follow up. So I do understand that. So to take you through the journey, so let's say, I'm coming up with a recycled plastic, and this plastic is HDPE, which generally
Hmm.
ABS or HDPE. So when I use a recycled, certain specifications we will not be able to meet as a virgin plastic. Let's say the tensile strength is not met, or XYZ parameters. So I want to do, research and development. How do I improve that parameters to meet the safety standards of that particular product I'm building? So it might take 6 months, it might take 2 years, it might take 1 year, I don't know. So I have a specific R&D officer who's built for, who's been on roll, and she'll be working on that. So for now we are at a very initial stage. We are just, thinking of doing it. And there could be similar other plastics as well, which come to me. I know I have a huge quantity, but I need to do some, R&D efforts has to go.
No, I got your point, but again, I will reiterate what I have told, that when when we say deep tech, we have to be very clear that it has to be innovation first. It doesn't in some form, and 6 month, 1 year. So if you take my personal opinion, less than 1 year, 1.5 year of development, I think would be fairly difficult to classify as deep tech, because uh, it is in deep tech, the main differentiation is time of development. One of the main differentiation in deep tech is the time taken for development, because it takes time to develop something related to basic engineering and science, and it requires a lot of effort. So that's one of the key thing. Again, I would reiterate that you have to evaluate from that point of view. And the when I say the moat in your product will also come if it can't be copied and it can only be copied if the competitor or a new developer also spends same amount of time in developing that. So if we talk about some of the AI companies globally, even like OpenAI has been working since 10, 15 years on data and data development preparation before they release their chat GPT version. So of course now there are other versions also, but the point is a lot of time was spent as a deep tech company by them to build the data for their foundational models, and time was a differentiation for them. It is difficult for other companies to have that kind of uh, uh, intelligence in a short span of time. So please evaluate in that sense that will time also be a differentiation in for other person developing the same technology, even if they have a complete ready-made product in front of them. Can they replicate it even by seeing the product, or it will take them time to figure out how to develop the product?
Okay,
Thank you
thanks,
so
Shiv.
much. I got your point. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Shiv. So, Manish, there's another question on pricing strategy. What framework or mindset helped you decide on premium pricing without market resistance?
Uh, Good. So, Vatsala, market resistance is something which is always there. So, the purchase guys are going to be are very difficult. What framework I would say is that one of the key things that as a founder uh, or as an entrepreneur we all should have as a quality is we should have the ability to say no, and we should, and that also with uh, extreme conviction that we know our product below this price or below this we can't sell it to you. And patience, we have lost in 2021 22 we have lost around 5 to 6 cr of business because we didn't compete, we didn't offer the discount they were asking, and they went with an alternate vendor. Of course the project didn't worked out, and now they have came back to us after 4 years. So what I mean to say is that there is, as such, there is no uh, general golden rule that if we do these three four things we will command premium pricing. But the most important thing that I have learned over a period of time is that uh, we have to, we are building a technology product. So first of all we have to have the pricing for the IP, not for the only the hardware and the BOQ. So most of these purchase or the companies would ask you for bill of material, and then they would try to break down the prices of bill of material, and they would try to say that put discount in this hardware, in this development, give me your man hours and all those things. That would come into the picture, and there will be a lot of resistance. Trust me, the resistance is still there, but you always have to from the start put a factor of IP. Sir, you are purchasing a technology. It is priced as per the cost at which we have developed it, and it's not as per what, or the, you see the what is the benefit that they will get. Don't go it by bill of material. You have to price your IP, and you have to very firmly say it across that we are pricing our IP, and we are charging a price for our IP,
Sure.
because it has taken us time to develop that. That's one thing that you have to be very firm, and you will get resistance. Everyone will take you for a toss. From the user they will say, oh, we are the largest corporate, everyone gives us discount of 20, 30. So I would give you an example. One of the largest aluminum company in India, one of the few largest aluminum companies in India. And 2 years back, the digital head, who is supposed to look after the innovation part of it, of the company, and they said that you have to do a free pilot, free POC, and if it succeeds, then we can only purchase at this price. So everything has to be final. The price was very less, and they wanted free pilots and free POCs. So my sales team, we as a strategy, my sales team initially told them that as a company we don't have a policy of giving free POCs and pilots. So we had a meeting with them. So I was involved in the meeting, and my sales head was also involved in the meeting. And the only thing that we learned during that meeting is the more you try to accommodate your customer, deviating from your strategy of pricing or product quality, the more they will try to take you for run. So don't
Yeah.
deviate at all. We told them that at the end of the meeting, this is the price. We want to work with you, but uh, beyond this price point, it is not feasible. They were showing us lot of scale that if you do this, we can give you 10 other plants, we can give you 10 CR business, but it never happens in an enterprise sales if your price point is fixed. The purchase people is are not going to increase the price in the repeat purchase or next orders. So you have to be very careful and very diligent in what pricing you are proposing to them. Clearly mention them that we will not go below this, and we are charging for IP because this is a product which we know with complete conviction that it is going to give you a good ROI. So if
Yeah.
you have that conviction and you are very firm, patience and resistance will come. There will be a lot of resistance and patience. We have waited for 3 years. Some of the sales deals to be we have cracked some of our sales deals after 3 years and at the price that we wanted,
Yeah.
but we waited for 3 years. There is no other way you can uh, crack these deals without being patient and firm on your points.
Certainly, that's how you communicate the value of your product also. Okay.
And you have also to, one of the key thing you also have to find that when you are targeting customers, you need to be very cautious. You don't work with every customer. You have to be very careful in choosing your customer in your initial days. Choose very good customers. Do look at their balance sheet, their cash flows. Do talk to their vendors who are working with them in terms of how is their payment cycles, how is their sign off when the product is deployed. Though this looks very trivial, but I'm telling you these are extremely important market intelligent points that you need to have and understand, and you have to choose your customers very carefully. Choose anchoring customers, work with them for a couple of years, build credentials through their name that we are working for the biggest player in the industry, deploy good products for them. Then people would come on for you and would adopt the price at what that you are demanding. But if you try to target a lot of customers in your initial days and not looking at the profile of the customer, customers will take you for a toss.
Thanks. Rishabh, please unmute slot 22.
Sure.
Yeah, please introduce yourself first. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Himanshu Gupta from Energizer Industries Private Limited. My question is regarding the initial customers that we explore. So because initially, as you I think you mentioned that they want the uh, uh, they want the smaller size product, but at a lower cost. But smaller size product usually comes at a higher cost. So how do we go about convincing that to our customers or convey that to our customers in a B2B kind of a scenario?
Sure. One is we have one thing that we have to keep in mind is, of course, I am assuming you have chosen the right customer, that you have decided that in that industry, this is the company whom I will work, and you have all the market information that if you deliver this customer is going to scale with you, or this customer is going to help you build credential. So I'm assuming that's the prerequisite that has been done, and you are targeting that customer. Now, in terms of initial pricing, uh, there are approaches that you can follow for initial pricing. You can go for aggressive pricing if it is your first customer, or you can say a initial few customer, one or two customer. You can go for initial pricing because you have complete confidence that you are working with the right customer. So that is one approach you can follow. But there is a risk in this, is that if you are not able to prove product, or the team that changes. So one of the key thing that you always have to keep in mind is that in B2B sales, decision making changes with the team whom you are working. So if the team changes before your product becomes stable, would the pricing and the scale part be taken care, which was discussed during the initial adoption. So that you have to be very clear that you can go with aggressive pricing, but be very firm on the scale that you will get. So you can say that I would do one deployment at X price, and I would need another 10 to do so that I can cover my total cost of product. Unless and until they show you scale, you cannot go for extremely aggressive pricing. So we do it now also, that if we see that the product has a very high potential, and we know that we will be able to sell 50 units, 100 units, or 200 units of that, so we take a price which, assuming that we'll be able to sell 50 units to that customer only. And accordingly, you can price it, but you have to get that in contract that based on these 4 to 5 parameters, if I'm able to sell, you will have to give me another 40 orders. So in that way, your pricing point is also uh, preserved, and your total cost of development of first system is also preserved. So that's one approach you can follow. The second approach that is little tricky, that I'm not sure whether it could. Which industry are you working, by the way?
Clean energy sector.
So energy sector, right?
Right, right.
Okay. So you are again talking about very large corporates, I think, because in energy capex is a differentiation. Anyone can get into energy sector who has a only people with large capex or cash can get into the energy sector. Now with them, you will have to wait. But the problem is that how long do you wait? You have to wait because these are very big customers. They don't mind paying you, but you will have to wait. And how bigger is the problem? So that's the one thing that you always have to analyze, that if I'm trying to convert a customer, how bigger is the problem? If the problem you think is very large and they need it, so they will come after 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year. In that case, you may not reduce the price, and you can be firm and wait patiently and wait efficiently in terms of cash flow management and funds. You can manage your funds and cash flow effectively so that you are able to sustain yourself till the um, customer comes back to you. But then you have to understand that how critical is your product for them. So as I told you, the first slide that I was presenting when I started was, we always have to see that from where in the layer of the deep tech businesses, which layer we want to be in. If we are in a service provider kind of thing for a longer run, then prices pressure would always come. We have to think that that product that they need, can I become a OEM for them? Does OEM doesn't exist, the solution doesn't exist, the product doesn't exist, then you will have to be patient with that.
Thanks, Manish. Thanks, Himanshu, for your question. Manish, we have two more questions.
Sure.
So it is Mahesh who's asking the question. What service you offered at your initial stage, and how did you make that as a product for big corporates? The second follow-up question is, at initial stage, why did you go for service? Why not product?
Yeah. So the initial product that we offered was quality inspection product for metal companies, and we developed one you can call it as a service at that point of time, because we didn't knew that it could be productized, and we were asked to develop that product, so you can call it as a service, and we developed the quality inspection system that they wanted through computer vision. We developed that, but over a period of time, and when we developed it for them, it was adopted by them. Then it was adopted by in their other factories. They had many lines in their each factory. Then other company in the same industry, it was adopted. So that was the first uh, service order that we got. But then it got productized. Now I would not say that I planned it to be productized, but sometimes things also happen with due course of time. So it happened over a period of time that it got productized. The second follow-up question which he had was, can you repeat that, Vatsala?
At initial stage, why did you go for the service and why not the product?
Yes. Now that's a very critical, that's a very important question, in from the point that being a bootstrap, we never raised funds till now. I think we have got some grants from uh, I think SISC, MIT, and we got debt funding of around 5 CR from TDB for developing our robotics manufacturing facility. Why we went for service is that I always believed uh, burning. We have to keep our kitchen burning. Means every day or every month or every quarter there has to be some cash flow for us, because without cash flow, the motivation, your own motivation psychologically, that no revenue is coming, we have been there for 8 months, 10 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, there is no revenue, it creates a lot of psychological impact on you. So to have patience, and you know that you can build, you have the technology, and over a period of time, when you build credential, you will be able to productize some of your solution, or you will develop some product, or you also have in mind that what product you want to develop. But I think it was more psychological that we wanted as a company that we want to have some cash flows at in every month, because that kept us going. It gave us a feeling that, yeah, if we deliver good product, though in a service only, if we deliver good quality in a service order also, there is a need for quality service in the market and people are ready to pay. So it was more for a psychological, and because we were a bootstrap, there was no other way to have funds. So we had some of our bandwidth dedicated to doing service orders so that we can get some cash and we can keep ourselves motivated and use that cash flow for building product also and building potential also.
Thanks, Manish, for your answer. The another question is from Arpita Ample Earth. She's asking, would really appreciate your guidance on technology pricing.
Uh, See, pricing, one is, there are couple of methods of pricing. One is ROI based pricing, one is your cost based pricing. But I think in deep tech, it should be opportunity based pricing and customer based pricing. So when I say opportunity based pricing, you just see that what product you have developed, how critical it is, and is there, how much is the scale that you can get, and how much is the competition. Because you, over a period of time, some years, 5 years, 6 years, or 3 years, there would come alternate for what product you have developed. So you also have to see that angle, that if it is very critical for them to be used and they want it now, make it reasonable so that they adopt it. Something we also learned that when we adopted opportunity pricing was that we tried to price our product very high, and we wanted to keep very high margins. But then the ROI was not there. So we kept that, of course, the premium part is there, but at what price they would get an ROI. So without ROI, these companies are not going to adopt your product at all. Means irrespective of how good your product is or how good our product is, no company is going to purchase a single or spend a single amount if there is no ROI. So first of all, you have to think on the ROI basis and then see the opportunity cost of it. That if the ROI is very, now the ROI could be very high, but they are not going to pay you for a very high for ROI that they are going to get for long period of time. So you see that, of course, my cost is something, and what is the opportunity for me to make?
Yeah.
So that opportunity pricing that you, what is the opportunity and how long is the opportunity there? Because you have to maximize your product life cycle. You have to maximize your earning in your product life cycle. Your product life cycle has a window, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So you have to maximize your revenue from that product in that life cycle, and you have to see the opportunity of how much you can sell. So that's one of the things you have to be very critical. Look at the ROI and look at the opportunity. For a tech product, cost-based pricing I would not suggest, because it doesn't make any sense, because we doesn't take into factor the lot of sleepless nights that as founders, as tech people put in those developing product. We simply take the man hours that we have put, but other than man hour, there is opportunity cost of us also, that we have what the tech people and what the founders and entrepreneurs have put in developing those products. So cost based pricing should not be there. We should never look that on 40 rupees I will add 30 rupees and then I will sell it. You do look for ROI and the opportunity to sell that.
Uh, so thanks, Manish, for answering this question. We have one last question. We'll be taking up this one. What messaging or positioning strategies helped you justify a premium price from day one for your product?
No, so premium pricing didn't came from day one. It is a journey that you have to undergo, and the journey is dependent on the quality of the product that you deliver. So as I mentioned, the KPI that you are monitoring, the quality of the product and the accuracy of the product and the usage of the product. The fundamental thing that we monitor is our product being used by the business or not? If the product is being used by the business and we have changed their process. So any product that we make or an enterprise in a deep tech ecosystem, if there is a product and if the company is able to switch to your product and your product is enabling the business processes, production, or any other allied activities, that is very critical to be monitoring. It can't be that our system is also running and manual system is also running, or our system is running, some other system is also running. So it is very crucial that when customer has paid for our product, we ensure through quality, accuracy, uptime that customer has completely shifted on our product for their daily operations. If you are able to shift the customer or able to make the customer dependent on our system through good quality, uptime, and good service, then of course you can. That's the enabler for premium pricing. They will give you premium prices because they their business processes have become efficient. They are getting ROI, and they wouldn't mind giving a portion of that to you. But it has to be that it is being used and they are dependent on it. And dependent on it not in the sense in a negative way, but dependent on it that they are using it to increase their productivity. They are getting benefit either in the quality of their final output or in their production processes. So that kind of dependability, that because without your product, their production line should stop. So how we reached premium pricing for some of our customers is that our some of our customers don't produce if our systems are not running. So it gives you a lot of pressure because if there is a downtime of 1%, so if for 10 minutes downtime also, they would call our team that why there is a downtime of 10 minutes for your product. But then it gives you satisfaction that without 10 minutes also they can't produce they can't produce and generate revenue, because if they can't produce, they can't generate revenue. Now that kind of call when you get from customer, you can put a premium pricing to your product, that they can't see even 10 minutes of downtime of a product. The moment you reach that, I think you are in a sweet zone where you can absolutely have a pricing, of course, not unreasonable, but a pricing which the customer will pay, and you will make good money on that.
Great. So one last question, Manish. What is that faith word you had for yourself in the initial hard times of your product journey?
uh, it's difficult because I think patience is one of the, I think that's the only thing I would say, that patience has been the most important factor for us, and perseverance. I think these two are the most important words that we follow, that we can fail, and we also believe that we fail faster, we learn faster. So, but every time we fail, we have to again bounce back, and we don't have to ghost the customer, because customers sometimes expect that you can fail, and they have prepared their mind that you can fail, but from that failure can you come back and deliver to the customer what they need. So that's very important. I think that's very key to our growth journey, that we have been patient. We always believe that if we deliver good quality product and a product that is integrated with their systems, business will come over a period of time. And we don't, as an organization, we are open to fail. We embrace failure like anything. We are always we say to our new hiring, we always say that be fearless and fail as much as you can. because then only we can develop something which doesn't exist.
Certainly. So thank you so much, Manish, for sharing your inspiring journey and offering such practical and powerful insights. Your story is a true testament to what can be achieved with clarity, conviction, commitment. And it's especially meaningful for founders navigating the tough but the exciting early phases of startup life in India and, of course, in our incubator. Big thanks to everyone who have joined us today, asking thoughtful questions. And if there are any more questions, please let me know. We'll try to connect you with Manish. We hope you found the session valuable, thought provoking. Stay connected with us for many such impactful sessions. Until then, stay inspired, keep building. Thank you so much, Manish. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ursula. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.